To my dear YouTube subscribers, friends, audience, and knowledge seekers everywhere. It's my pleasure to share with you this video about a serious problem that affects many individuals and their families as they seek to gain large monetary profits while taking big risk of losing their own money and assets. In this video, we will talk about, do you or your loved ones suffer from a gambling problem or disorder? And in this episode, we will answer the following questions. What is gambling? What is gambling disorder? What is the prevalence of gambling problems and disorders? What is the impact of gambling disorder on the individual and the surrounding society? What causes it, and what are the factors contributing to its occurrence? How to screen for it and how to diagnose it? And at last, how do we treat it psychologically, pharmacologically, and spiritually? And let's start first with definitions. What is gambling? Gambling is defined as placing something of value at risk with the hope of gaining something of greater value. And about less than 10% of adult gamblers develop a gambling problem. But what is a gambling disorder? According to the American Psychiatric Association's DSM-5 guide for diagnosing mental health disorders, gambling disorder is defined as persistent and recurrent maladaptive gambling behavior as indicated by 4 or more of the following criteria. First is the gambler frequently is occupied with gambling. Second, needs to gamble with increased amounts of money to achieve the desired excitement. Third criteria is gambler has made repeated unsuccessful efforts to limit or cut back or stop his gambling behavior or her gambling behavior. Fourth, the person is restless or irritable when trying to cut down or stop gambling. The fifth is he or she often gambles as a way of escaping from problems or relieving dysphoric moods. Sixth is after gambling and losing money, he or she often gambles another day to get even, which is known as chasing after one's losses. Seventh criteria is the person tends to lie to family members, therapists, or others to conceal the content or the extent of their gambling. Eighth criteria is the person has jeopardized or lost a significant relationship or job or educational or career opportunity because of gambling. And the last criterion is the person relies on others to provide money to relieve a desperate financial situation caused by gambling. It's important also to note that the gambling behavior is not better accounted for by a manic episode as part of a bipolar disorder. And before we review how prevalent gambling is, let's first review types of gamblers. First group is low-risk gamblers. And low-risk gambler is someone who never lost more than what's equivalent to $100 in a single day or year, or lost more than $100 in single day or year but reported none of the previously described DSM-5 criteria. Second type of gamblers is the at-risk gambler, and it's defined as someone who lost more than what's equivalent to $100 in one day or 1 year, plus having 1 to 2 criteria of the DSM-5 that characterizes a gambling disorder. And the third type is the problem gambler, and is someone who lost more than $100 in 1 day or year and meets 3 to 4 criteria of the DSM-5. As for the common gambling means or patterns, you all know about lotteries and also gambling casinos, which are the most common medium forms of gambling. And also there is online gambling that includes sports betting and also playing games on the internet like poker and others. As for the prevalence of gambling and how spread gambling disorder is, there's about 1.6% lifetime prevalence in adults for pathologic gambling and about 3.85% for problem gambling. About 2.5 million adults suffer from pathologic gambling, and there are about 3 million problem gamblers at a time. Men are more likely to be pathologic or problem gamblers, and also at-risk gamblers more than women. And it's been shown repeatedly that availability of a casino within 50 miles radius doubles the prevalence of problem and pathological gamblers. But what are the effects of gambling disorder on the individual and on those who are around him in the immediate family and also in other close circles? First, there are definitely psychological effects, as gambling can trigger or worsen anxiety and depression due to stress of losses. Also, it can lead to low self-esteem due to shame and guilt associated with repeated losses. Also, there is increased likelihood of having mood swings from the roller coaster of wins and losses. And then also, gamblers are vulnerable to having suicidal thoughts due to severe emotional distress, as well as hopelessness, especially when they have sustained huge losses. And then also they are more likely to resort to substance use to cope with emotional distress. There are also relationship and social impacts that include relationship problems due to damaged trust and conflict with family and friends, especially spouses and children. Also, it may result in social isolation due to spending more time and energy being consumed in gambling and withdrawal from social activities. Also, there is strain at the workplace or in school life due to its effects on decreased concentration and decreased productivity, also leading to absenteeism and decreased performance. And there are also financial and legal problems. So gambling can result in significant financial strain, leading to going into debt, also declaring bankruptcy, with difficulty managing day-to-day financial needs. There could be also legal problems due to illegal activities, from resorting to theft or fraud to secure money needed for gambling. And there are also cognitive effects, as the gambler has a loss of control over his or her gambling behavior, with having some cognitive distortions due to the irrational belief regarding his or her ability to control the outcome of their gambling. And then there are effects on their physical health, as it can lead to sleep problems and neglect of physical health and neglect of needed daily health habits to sustain good health. And here one might ask, what are the causes and driving mechanisms underlying gambling disorder or addiction? Is it a non-substance use related disorder, or is it an impulse control disorder, or is it both? Actually, there's an emerging concept that views pathologic gambling as one of natural addictions, like sexual addiction and also food addiction, and those who tend to have overeating disorders. And like these disorders, gambling addiction involves the release of endogenous opioid peptides such as enkephalin and the VTA area of the brain stem, the ventral tegmental area of the brain stem. Also, problem gamblers seem to exhibit more activation of the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis than non-problem gamblers, as shown in some studies. Also, there is evidence that the dysregulation of the dopaminergic tone may play a role in the development of pathologic gambling. Also, genetics has been found to play a significant role in the development of a gambling disorder. So in a twin study evaluating the concordance for lifetime pathologic gambling, comparing monozygotic and dizygotic twin pairs among a sample of 6,744 males who served in the military. Lifetime history of pathologic gambling in the full sample was found to be 1%, but found to be 23% in the monozygotic pairs and 10% of the dizygotic twin pairs. Another twin study that included male and female monozygotic and dizygotic twin pairs showed genetic influences to account for up to 49% of the variation and liability for pathological gambling. And they didn't find any evidence of differences among male and female sexes. But how do we diagnose gambling disorders? The diagnosis of gambling disorder, which is pathological gambling, is made based, as we described before, on the DSM-5 criteria that we have reviewed earlier. But there's a number of screening tools that has been used, including the one showed on the right side of this slide, the BBGS, or the Brief Biosocial Gambling Screen, which reviews kind of like the 3 questions about gambling behavior in the past 12 months. First one is, have you become restless, irritable, or anxious when trying to stop or cut down on gambling? Second one, have you tried to keep your family or friends from knowing how much you gambled? Third one is, did you have such financial trouble as a result of your gambling that you had to get help with living expenses from family, friends, or welfare? Of course, an answer of yes to any of these questions prompts further in-depth evaluation. Another screen that's used also is the South Oaks Gambling Screen, and also the Gamblers Anonymous Survey. And a short survey or a questionnaire is the Lie or Bet questionnaire, which is similar to the Cage screen for alcoholism, and it's composed of 2 questions. The first one is, have you ever had to lie about how much you gambled? And the second question is, have you ever felt the need to bet more money? And a yes to either question suggests the need for further in-depth assessment. And here one might ask, how about comorbid psychiatric disorders that may be seen alongside gambling disorder? Actually, it's been found that there are high rates of depression, bipolar disorder, psychotic disorder, and anxiety, personality and substance use disorders, as well as ADHD in patients with gambling disorder and problem gambling. And also, in some studies, it's been found that major depressive disorder is likely to occur in about 76% of pathologic gamblers, with recurrent depressive episodes likely to happen in 28% of pathologic gamblers. Also, visitors to and residents of major gambling communities like Atlantic City as well as Las Vegas experience an elevated suicide rate. And as we learned about how we screen and diagnose gambling disorders, the question comes to what are the available effective treatment interventions for this serious disorder. The first treatment modality is psychotherapy, which used to overcome irrational thoughts, also identify reasons for gambling, and help the person to confront their defenses, and also help in cessation of chasing behaviors. And among the types of psychotherapies that are effective is cognitive behavioral therapy, which combines correction of cognitive distortions and use of systematic exposure with desensitization, and also relaxation techniques and social skills training, in addition to covert sensitization and relapse prevention. Also, it's important to enlist family members to provide support to the gambler family member in their treatment engagement, and also support provided by Gamblers Anonymous groups is very crucial and important modality for treatment and a resource for the gamblers. It's also important to provide treatment for the comorbid condition like depression or substance use disorders or bipolar disorder or any other comorbid disorder. And in terms of pharmacological treatment, antidepressant medications, specifically SSRIs like fluvoxamine, fluoxetine, and citalopram, as well as escitalopram, were found in some limited studies to be effective in decreasing gambling behavior. Also, naltrexone, nalmefene, lithium, valproic acid, and topiramate or Topamax were also found helpful in small clinical trials. And we have to keep in mind that breaking addiction, no matter the kind, is never easy, but your life is worth it. And we shouldn't forget the spiritual aspects and interventions available for gambling addiction. For gambling, like other addictions, is seen also from a spiritual perspective as man's attempt to satisfy an inner thirst and hunger, or to numb pain from past trauma in one's soul. And the Bible, in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 13, we read these verses. My people have committed two sins. They have forsaken me, the spring of living water, and have dug their own cisterns that cannot hold water. And in these verses, God confronts his people, the nation of Israel, who rebelled against him and went after other gods to seek satisfaction without any success or hope in fulfilling their soul's thirst and hunger. And as some of you may be familiar with the 12 steps of recovery, followed by many addiction treatment models and their journey towards recovery, the second step is about believing in a higher power that can give strength and restore one's mind to sanity. And the answer given in the Bible that Jesus has presented and presents to you is the same that he gave to the Samaritan woman at the well in the Gospel of John, chapter 4 and verse 10. As he told her, if you knew the gift of God and who is it and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. So Jesus is really extending his hands to you and wants to fill any thirst or hunger in your soul and heal any deep wound you have suffered internally. Just you need to come and surrender to him and ask him to come into your life and to deliver you from the bondage of gambling addiction and any other addiction or any hurt or pain that you've been struggling with. And in this slide, there's a short list of references of articles and internet websites, as well as a Bible version that were used in preparing the content of this video. At the end, I would like to express my thanks for those who watched and listened to this video. And if you have found it helpful, please choose like or subscribe for free to our YouTube channel at Know and Grow with Dr. K. And if you have any comments or questions, please contact us at ped.psych101@gmail.com. And until we meet again, my best wishes to you, to your family and your loved ones for a healthy, happy, and fulfilled life.